Welcome to Reality with Kiki. I'm your host, Kiki, and on this channel, we discuss reality TV, celebrity gossip, and viral topics. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. A link will be in the description box below, and we also have it linked in our bio. Okay, so Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition. So we start this episode off with the aftermath of the dance competition. I don't know. I guess things are tense. People are upset, feeling disrespected. But Nori in particular is just like turning up. Like he's upset. He like, where's the pizza? Because I guess they were supposed to have food. There's no food. Everybody's hangry. But he just was like going to the extreme. He like, F this. I don't want to be here. Where's my phone? Where's my effing phone? Neri's trying to talk to him like, just calm down. Like her voice is kind of monotone and it's funny to watch because like she was able to calm him down, but like in the moment, like her voice is so low, it's just like he's yelling. I feels like he's not paying attention, but I guess she was able to eventually get him down. But I was still confused as to what he was upset about. Why are you so angry? Okay, so Dr. Ish pulls Treasure aside because he's saying that their relationship from the beginning, it's kind of, he's been trying to figure it out, kind of rubbing him the wrong way. I felt the same, and I talked about that, but like he just was trying to get a better idea of like what is going on, and so the Treasure was just saying how like she feels like Molly is the devil. He's manipulative. Like he knows that she's trying to work on drinking, and when they had the dancing competition, he gave her this big old shot, and he was kind of like, forcing it on her. She was like, "No, I'm good." He like, "Just take it, just take it." So he's trying to eavesdrop on the conversation, then trying to join in after you just was like basically ignoring her. Now you want to join in a conversation because Dr. Ish is asking her questions about the relationship and how she feels. And so Dr. Isha was like, no, like this is a private conversation. Go outside. But I also was like, okay, if this is a private conversation, why didn't y'all go into that little office room or whatever? Anyway, he Molly goes outside and he's talking to Tough and he's like, she called me the devil. I ain't never heard force her to do anything she didn't want to do, and that made me feel some type of way. And it's just like, why are your feelings hurt? Because you've been evil to her since y'all got here. You've been nasty to her. And now your feelings are hurt? Boy, bye. So now they have a challenge. They have to put these cards together. Um, One partner is reading the directions and can't help them. The other person is putting the little go-kart together. And, obviously they can't look at the directions. So the exercise is supposed to be about you listening to your partner. Um, it's awkward between Treasure and Molly because for one, they don't really communicate, period. So now that they're in this exercise, it's making it awkward, and Molly is upset because Treasure called him the devil, so he's feeling some type of way. And he's just like, I've never had anybody call me the devil. Like, that's messed up. And it's like, you were arrested for sex trafficking. I'm pretty sure somebody thinks negatively about you. He's like, she's trying to paint this picture of me. You're painting the picture yourself. All right, so Molly is bogging Nori down with conversation. He's just talking in circles, basically. That's what Nori was saying. It was funny because he was just like, he kept saying, that's crazy. That's crazy. And when somebody's saying that's crazy, they not really paying attention. So he tried to distract from the conversation because he saw a lizard. He tried to go over to the lizard and try to get out of the conversation, but Molly just kept going and kept going. And he basically was just like, he's talking about nothing. And like during the conversation, Molly's just like, tell me if I'm wrong. And, like trying to compare himself to Nori, like, oh, we're the same because we have a big name and people think that we are full of ourselves and whatever else he was saying. And it's just like, y'all don't have the same problems. And he's like, yeah, because, Treasure knows, she knows I'm not happy with her. So instead of just coming in and talking to me or coming in and apologizing, she is acting standoffish. And it's just like, no, that's what you are doing. And I'm just like, maybe Treasure is actually accurate in her saying that he's manipulative, because it's like you're doing all the things that you're saying she's doing. So you're ignoring her, or you're not trying to have a conversation with her. And it's like, coincidentally, after he said that, Treasure came over and tried to come and talk to him. He tried to get up and walk away. So it's like, which one is it? Do you want her to do it or do you not? Because he's like, oh, don't try to come over here and be fake and try to get camera time. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm trying to have a conversation with you. I really don't want to, because she also is just like, I'm done with this and I think I want to be done with him. And I'm like, good. And I've been saying that from the beginning. Like, you do not need to be with somebody like this. Like, he is gross and just very misogynistic. Like, why should she be coming over to you begging and pleading and apologizing? What did she do that was just so wrong? Especially since you won't even hear her out. So he sits back down and he's trying to recruit everybody, like, oh, come listen to this. I want everybody to listen to this. Right? And it's still like, tell me if I'm wrong. You're trying to get all these people, and you're trying to get these men because you think that they're going to be on your side, when that's not necessarily going to be the case. Especially if you're wrong. But again, him being misogynistic, he's going to believe that because he's a man and they're men, they will completely understand and they will tell him that he is right. And as I'm watching, I'm thinking, like, what show does Molly think he's on? Because if you're wrong, Dr. Ish is definitely going to call you out. And some of the other men in the house seem to be more sensible. So they also are going to be like, no, you're not right. So while they're having a conversation, Molly proceeds to say, I can't believe you called me the devil. Have I ever put my hands on you? She said no. So because you don't put your hands on her, then you're not the devil. So, like, you're not physically abusive, so you don't believe that you should be equated to the devil. Only people who put hands on others should be equated to the devil. No, you can be mentally and emotionally abusive, which I believe that he does. So then he's like, have I ever threatened you? And she was like, yes, you have. And you make me feel like if I don't listen to you, then I'm wrong. And it's just like, then you get up and you're pointing in her face and all of this stuff like that. Like, you absolutely are threatening to her. We can see that. So Molly makes a dramatic exit. I'm out of here. I'm not doing this here because you're so fake. Telling her she's so fake. She needs to apologize to me. She's lying on me. Blah blah blah. Even though everything that she's said has been proven. So Judge Toller goes to speak with him to try to convince him to stay. He's like, she's lying on me and my character. you know, I make money off my personality, and like it could affect me and my coworkers if she keeps saying these things about me, saying I'm the devil and all of these things. And it's just like, first of all, like I said, nothing that Treasure has said has not been proven to be true. One. Two, you're a music producer, right? So like, does that really matter? And if you feel like, because he said something about like in this day and age, like it could affect him. So you're talking about like me too or something like that. I feel like that's what you're giving off. But even if that was the case and you do feel like you'll be heavily affected, instead of you just changing and doing the right thing, you're saying, stop speaking bad about me. Like, are you serious? Like, literally just be a good person and don't be abusive. And you won't have to worry about anybody trying to come after you. Or the microbladed eyebrows. All right, so Judge Tully convinces him to stay, and they have to continue the challenge. So the cars that they were building earlier, the person who was reading the directions now has to drive the car with basically a blindfold, and the person who was building the car will be directing them with the megaphone. So I'm gonna just say this: like, y'all not gonna convince me that these people built these go karts. Like, y'all had somebody put those together, but whatever. So there's a lot of crashing going on because you can't see, and it's hard to hear because there's multiple people yelling through the megaphones. But Nori is like crashing into the sidewalk, but he's like, I don't even have a license. Like, he don't even drive in real life. So to be driving his go kart and be trying to listen to the directions was crazy. But Moni and Tough ended up winning. But I think that's indicative to their relationship, right? So the exercise is supposed to be about listening. And I think that Moni does listen to him, right? But I don't know if she necessarily gets that in return. So the ladies and the men are separated while everybody's in the house relaxing, and they are asking Treasure, does she really feel like Molly is the devil? It's more specifically Amber, and I just her line of questioning, I didn't really like. I felt like Moni was making a connection to Treasure and trying to, talk her through this. Amber seems like she's trying to make Molly look good so that he'll still keep his promise to do the record with her. So while the guys are talking, Nori is saying to Molly, I do see wifey potential and Treasure, and Molly is like, nah, none of that, blah blah blah. So when they all come back in the kitchen together, Amber is continuing on trying to big up Molly, like, I do think Treasure cares for Molly, and in the same instance, I think Molly cares for Treasure, and blah blah blah. He comes sit down. He like, oh, come sit down on my lap. He like, give me a kiss, and then he like, oh, we need a tongue kiss, and he's like, let me show y'all. We gonna tongue kiss. So Moni calls them out in the moment, and I'm like, yes. She's like, this doesn't seem authentic to me. It's too soon. Y'all doing all this fighting. Now all of a sudden it's come sit on my lap. Let's have a kiss. And she's like, y'all putting on a show. You putting on a show, and you don't need to be putting on a show for us. Like, this is very real. Like, people are really here trying to fix their relationships, and you're here trying to put on a show. And Molly's like, oh no, that's how I really feel. That's how I really feel. And she's like, calling out Treasure, like, Treasure, you just sat here. I see the pain in your face, like everything that you were going through. And Treasure is just like, I really don't, I might show my anger in different ways, but I really am uncomfortable. But she's doing it to compromise for Molly. She don't want to make Molly look bad. She don't want him to continue to be upset. And if that was triggering for Moni, because she's like, I've been in manipulative relationships, or I've been in a relationship with someone who is manipulative, and it's a form of abuse. And I'm just like, I'm glad she called it out in a moment because it was very awkward. It made me uncomfortable, but it's just like he is once again like controlling the situation, which Treasure has been saying from the beginning, like he is controlling. He's a manipulator. Why are you coming over here talking about some old kissy? But you just was saying like, oh no, you don't want to be with her. She not a wife, and don't say that about her, and blah blah. Like, are you kidding? So Moni goes away to take a break because it's just too much for her, and then she comes back, and Molly is just keep talking. All he does is talk, and it's annoying. Like, I noticed that even when people try to have conversations with him, he over talks and he keeps going and he keeps going. So he's talking and he's saying, this process is made to break you down. Like, you got to love yourself before you love anybody else. And Treasure is like, you know what? That's the realest thing you said since you got here. You love yourself. You love yourself a lot. Then he starts going on her, and she's going off back. And Moni's just like, y'all need to stop. This is toxic. Treasure's like, I don't care. I'm done. Like, this is it. I'm done. And she knows, she just was like giving her some words of encouragement, just like going forward, don't make yourself small for anybody. All right, so we end the episode with Dr. Ish giving feedback, and then there's a small conversation in the kitchen, and Nori is basically saying that he doesn't want to lose Neri. She's his best friend. Like, he felt some type of way when she was just like, he basically like overshadows her and keeps her in a cage. And they end it there. I think the thing that I do enjoy about Nuri being on the show is that like he's so excited to be there because he really wants to learn, but also he is a fan of the show, so he always like trying to like participate and like help with the answers and stuff like that. But yeah, so that was it. You guys let me know down in the comments what you thought about this episode, and I will speak to you next time.